Good morning, students. Last class we had seen the composition of the atmosphere. Today we'll see the structure of the atmosphere. Now, if you take a vertical column of the atmosphere above the Earth's surface, you'll see that the density and temperature of the atmosphere is not the same everywhere. While the heavier gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide are mostly present in the lower layers of the atmosphere, the lighter gases like hydrogen and nitrogen are found in the upper layers. So, based on the change in temperature with increase in height, we have five concentric layers of the atmosphere, namely the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. So, we'll start with the troposphere. You all can see that it is the very first layer near the Earth's surface. It comes from the Greek word tropos, which means turbulent or mixing. Now, why it is called so? Because most of the weather phenomena takes place in this region only. How? See, almost all the water vapor and most of the dust particles are present only in this layer, and we all know that the dust particles act as condensation nuclei around which the water vapor gets condensed, which leads to formation of clouds, fogs, rains, winds, storms, or thunder and lightning. So this region is the region of intense mixing. Now, 90% of the mass of the atmosphere is found in this layer only. That's why it is the densest layer of the atmosphere. Now we'll talk about its extent. At the equator, it extends up to a height of 18 kilometers, and at the poles, up to a height of 8 kilometers. Now, why this difference in height? At the equator, we know the earth receives the direct rays of the sun, and the temperature is high. So, there is thermal expansion of the air, and so greater height. At the poles, due to low temperature, there is thermal contraction, and that's how lower height. That explains. Now, in this layer, temperature decreases with increasing height. It decreases at a rate of 1 degree centigrade for every 165 meter of ascent. This is also known as normal lapse rate. So it may decrease almost up to minus 80 degree centigrades near the equators and minus 45 degree centigrade at the poles. Now, tropopause. It is the uppermost limit of troposphere, where it marks the end of troposphere and marks the beginning of another layer, that is stratosphere. Stratosphere extends up to a height of 50 kilometers, where there is again gradual increase of temperature. It may increase up to nearly 0 degree or 4 degree centigrades. In this layer we have the ozone layer, which absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun and thus protects us. And due to this absorption of ultraviolet rays of the sun, there is increase of temperature. Also, this layer is not turbulent like troposphere. It is tranquil and calm because there is no weather phenomena found here, as there is no water vapor and dust. So this is considered very ideal for the flying of jet aircrafts. Now, at 50 kilometers, there again temperature stops increasing, and this marks the end of stratosphere. This is known as stratopause, and it marks the beginning of another layer which is known as mesosphere, in which again temperature decreases up to a height of 80 kilometers. Temperature may decrease up to minus 100 degrees centigrades. Its uppermost limit is known as mesopause, where again temperature stops decreasing and temperature again starts increasing in the next layer, which is known as thermosphere. Thermosphere extends from 80 kilometers to nearly 480 or 500 kilometers, and this layer absorbs ultraviolet as well as X-rays of the sun, and that's how temperature may get increased up to 1000 to 1500 degrees centigrades. And so it can burn up the incoming meteors from the space, and thus it protects us. Also, in this layer, the molecules of the gases, they break up into positively or negatively charged particles known as ions. So this layer is also known as ionosphere, which can reflect radio waves, and thus it is very helpful for radio communication or other long distance communication. In this layer only, we see the beautiful phenomenon of aurora australis or aurora borealis, which is seen at the poles, a very beautiful, luminous, colorful waves in the sky. It is seen in this layer only, thermosphere only, at a height of nearly 100 kilometers from the Earth's surface. It is produced by the solar charged particles when they come in the Earth's magnetic field. Now, after this thermosphere, beyond it, nearly up to 960 kilometers, we have exosphere, in which again there is increase in temperature, and the molecules in it are rarefied because the gravitational pull of the Earth is very low here, and the gases can easily escape into the space. So it gradually merges with the interplanetary space. So that was it, all the layers of the atmosphere. Now talking about their chemical composition, taking these first three layers, troposphere, stratosphere and mesosphere, they are called as homosphere collectively because the proportion of gases remains more or less uniform here, whereas the thermosphere and exosphere are known as heterosphere because the proportion of gases is not uniform here. So that was all about the structure of the atmosphere. We'll meet in the next class.